Hello and welcome to another session of the Veil Iterations. And we are in our second month of this. This is a playtest of some slightly changed, developed alternate rules for the Veil, which is a cyberpunk PbtA RPG that you can find on Drive-Thru RPG if you want the PDF. And I think that there might even be still printed copies available through IPR. It's one of my favorite PbtA games. Who am I? I'm Lowell. Pronouns he, him. This is something that I wrote up last time at the end of the session. If you watched it, if you've made it all the way through, I did record the playtest feedback that we did for about the last half hour of the session. I am still processing that. So there's not going to be any changes today, but I'm still thinking about that. There are a lot of really good things there. I think the key takeaway, if I have two of them, one of them is about looking at those sort of initial moves in the currencies, again, reviewing those. And two, we're going to cut obligation. I think we're just bottom line going to cut that. We may have a system for getting strings on NPCs to have something of that sort, but I think obligation as it stands in here is a system that is not working for the way that we're playing. And but I think we can make it work in other ways. We can take that concept and do other things with it. So that is where we're taking up tonight. There are some things on the table. We're coming out of the rescue of Marley, their brother, from these kidnappers, and finding out what that's about. That's one of the plates that we have spinning. The other plate that we have spinning is this strange cyber architect creator out there who we are trying to track down, and Dokuchi. And then the third one is this musical war that is going on. So I'd say that those are the three sort of right now in the middle of things. I think the question about aliens and what's going on with that is maybe like that's a thing that's maybe kind of be simmering for a bit while we kind of look at these front pieces. So that's how I'm visioning things. Is everybody sound like that's kind of the agenda we should work with? Then I do want to go through and check in with everybody and see if there's any changes for entanglements or any purchases, things you're going to be buying advancement-wise or anything like that. Heller, anything that you want to change about your question or your entanglements or anything like that?
No, I mean, I kind of like it the way it is. I wouldn't mind having another entanglement at some point. That would be fun.
Okay.
So to maybe to take up the place of obligations.
Okay.
But that would be about it.
Okay.
But I like the one that I have.
And where are you XP wise?
I have 2, I think.
Okay. So you didn't get an advance last time, did you?
If I did, I didn't spend it or do anything sensible with it. It just fell into oblivion. I don't know.
Okay. I think that because I see that you've got overclocker.
But I had that before.
That's the first advance that you took.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the second advance.
Okay, maybe that was it.
I don't think you raised up a stat, did you?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So you should take a look at that and figure out what you want to do advancement wise.
All right.
Okay. Let us come back to Gabriel. Gabriel, are you happy with your entanglements, questions, things like that?
I am.
Okay. And where are you advancement wise?
I have 4 XP and I've taken 2 advances.
Okay, that's right. And I know you got both those.
Yeah, picked up that backroom dealings is my last
one. And remind me, Gabriel, your joy isn't spiked out, is it?
No, I'm 1 away, right?
1 away. Okay, we'll work on that. Just to that.
Because I don't
and,
do sad often, I'll admit. So I
Yeah.
don't have to be sad. So
Riddle, we cleared your spiked last time, right? You finally got power
Yes.
cleared. But sadness is walking its way up towards the top, right?
That'll probably be fine. I wouldn't worry about that.
I think that that seems right. What about your entanglements and questions and those things? Is there anything you want to shift there?
No, I am happy with how those are going.
Okay. And what are the 2 advancements that you've taken so far?
I took the kick move and cryptomancer.
Okay, that's right.
And things speak isn't a starting move for Catapolis, so that was Sherry's other
Oh, okay.
level up.
That is right. Thank you. And then let's come to oh yeah. Yeah, look at that harm that's still there on Riddle. Thank you.
Yeah,
Mar,
there's still that.
yeah, that need to spend that cred and get all healed up there. Marley, are you good with your entanglements, questions, so on right now?
Yeah, I think so. I did advance and I took another move. Imbue.
What did you take? Imbue?
Imbue.
What does that do again?
It I spend 1 essence to interact with and fundamentally alter a piece of technology. And there's a list of things I can do to this piece of technology.
Nice. I
I'm
like
glad
that
there's a
one.
list because like fundamentally alter could cover so much ground.
Yes. I think that is a fair thing. So Marley, let's start with you. And we like, you've got your brother out. We'll mention that the others are, nearby, but giving you a little bit of space here. And your brother Zephyr is there, and he's like, thanks, I really appreciate you getting me out of that situation.
What's wrong with you? Other than being a complete idiot, what's wrong with you?
What do you mean? There's nothing wrong with me. I just got a little tangled up, apparently. Like, you know how you always say that like things will come back to bite you in the ass.
That's what happened?
Yeah, as it turns out, yeah. So like put one in your side of the score sheet on that one.
No, seriously, what did they want with my ear? Like, where did you get that from in the first place?
So like, remember when we first got here?
Yeah.
And like, I know you kind of are one of those people who keeps your eye on the ball. Like you keep your focus there. But like for me, I've always seen the forest, not the trees. And I went out in that forest gathering fruit wherever I could. I mean, this is a cornucopia, this city. There's just so much here. And once I found that there was a market for my songs, that was even better. But I hooked up with this A&R person, and they were working sort of freelance, like on the edges of some corporate music stuff. And when I was there, we were doing, like bed talk afterwards. And they mentioned that they had some stuff that they had gotten and that it was real cutting edge stuff. And at some point I went and I checked out what they had, and they had these cyber ears, like, and they were clearly expensive, but there were a number of them, and I kind of walked off with one. And because I knew, I mean, you were here in the city, you hadn't gotten your ear fixed. We couldn't do it back home, and I didn't think that you were gonna take the time or spend the money to help yourself. So
Man,
but it's been a while. I don't know. I mean, it took a while for this to come around.
yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that whoever they took it from took a while to find out that it had been taken, and then
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I tried to, like, after that, I kind of tried to hook up with them again, and I couldn't find them. They kind of dropped off the map.
I can see why now. If they took it
Oh.
from that person,
Oh, yeah. Now that you say that, that kind of makes sense.
yeah. So
Sorry
is that,
about
so
your
that's
ear, but it looks like you got some rich friends. Maybe they can buy you an ear.
I have a rich, friend, I guess, that I did a few gigs for. It's fine. I can, like, I lived for decades without it. I can get used to it, but that's all, right? They didn't want anything else from you. They're not going to come after you again.
I think they just wanted to hear. So it was weird because they found out I was a musician. They knew I was a musician. They started grilling me about stuff. And I think at a certain point they realized that maybe I had a lack of knowledge. Phrase himbo might have been thrown around at that point, but that's just rude. But like, I think it was pretty clear to them, and I told them that I gave it to my sibling, who is like I described you as kind of an earthy type.
Not vagrant, at least. That's good.
No, I never
Not
called you
hobo,
vagrant.
not
Yeah, no.
okay. Hey, nicer than you could have been.
Yeah, no. Listen, there's a whole genre of cyber hobo music out there that's really hot these days. So don't knock that. But no, I didn't. And the impression I got is that they decided I was a good person, and wasn't going to cause any problems.
That's good. Okay, I just want to make sure that we don't both have to be looking over our shoulders constantly, waiting for the other thing they're gonna get us for. But if that's it,
No, I mean, here's
that's
the thing
okay.
is
It's okay.
I made it clear to them that I made no copies of it, didn't do any scans on it, that nothing like that had occurred, and they seemed pleased with that.
That's good. Okay, cool. That's all right then.
Good. I like. Should I thank your friends? Do I owe them anything? What's
I mean,
what's the thing?
they did help. Yeah. Here,
Yeah.
you know what? Actually, Riddle does stuff entertainment wise. He might be a good person for you to know.
Okay. He stands up. He's all charm, and hey, you guys. I want to thank you so much for taking care of my sibling. Marley's got a good head on their shoulders, and I just want to thank you so much for helping out and so on. And I'm sorry that it got kind of cranky there, but I can get you 2 tickets to my next show. I'd be glad to like if everyone would autographs, I can do that, or anything. Marley says you're a musician. Riddle, maybe you'd like to sit in on a session. I can get you I could do a hook on a track, and I can get you
Oh,
on that.
I'm not. No, not. I'm not a musician. Me, not. No.
Okay,
You're a
because you like
mus-
got that whole outfit going on thing.
I work with some digital projects.
Oh, so you got to be anonymous.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Have you been kidnapped before? I'm just. You seem very calm for someone who just like within the last hour was technically classed as, currently kidnapped.
But Marley got me out of there.
Which is a good reason to feel relief. I'm just saying you don't
Yeah.
seem to be you seem to be handling it in the moment fairly well too.
That you have hit on it right. Absolutely, you've gotten on the nub of it. Like, I come from a people who see the world as a long line of things stretching back into the past, into the ground and the air and the trees around us, and ahead to the future. And they're in that context, and Marley's there in the great span of things. Me, I'm here right now.
So he's a blood relative, Marley?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess genetically we're actually cousins, but
We're all
raised
in the
together.
same family, though.
Well, good job on, not I'm so glad we could help you.
Same here, man.
I heard of this guy before.
Yeah, like he's a musician.
And is he good?
I assume by what you mean by is he good is he successful?
Yes, that is good. Yes,
He is moderately successful. He is C-list, maybe B-list.
I can work with that. Do you currently have representation?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can't get anywhere without a rep.
I think you're going to be changing that.
Not have a rep?
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
know. That's going to be.
You're
that's
going
hard,
to take
man.
a step up. Perhaps I'll whip out a card. I could assist you in progressing your career.
Says, well, I'd have to talk to my agent.
Indeed, you do. You have to tell him that you no longer need his services. I mean, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, young man.
No.
I'm sure that he would have come out here and rescued you from horrible danger, wouldn't he?
I don't think that's in the contract.
Well, I did it pro bono, as it turned out.
Well, you should talk to him. I've had some offers before, and then the legal team comes in and it's pretty clear I can't go because of the contract. So, that's like stuff I don't, you know how it is.
I understand, and I like that in an artist. I will get in touch.
Cool. Okay, that sounds good. And you are
Gabriel Throng.
Okay. Oh, I could have looked at the card, couldn't I have?
Yes, that was why I handed it to you.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. He finally looks at it. Okay. Moves his lips when he reads, kind of thing. And then he looks up and points at Heller, and you're
I'm Heller Tin, and those tickets you mentioned, I would
Yeah.
love a couple of those.
Oh, absolutely.
My little sister sings, and I bet she would love coming to a show.
Sure, sure. You get your pad. I'll grab you some comps.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Good venue.
Yeah, yeah. It's a charity show.
Great. Excellent. Looking forward to it.
Well, again, Marley, sorry about the ear.
It's all right. You gave it to me in the first place. So
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'll talk to all of you later.
yeah, sure. Hey,
Yes.
just in case,
Uh-huh.
keep an eye out. Be careful.
Yeah. An eye out for kidnappers. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And people who have stolen property, maybe don't just take off with it.
I didn't know the property was stolen.
Well, maybe next time find out first before you steal it.
Before I steal it. That's a step I could take. Yeah. And if I see these guys again, I'll absolutely give
Stay
you
away
a
from
call.
them.
Stay away from them. And
Yeah,
then
stay
give
away
you a
from them
call.
and yeah, give me a call. That sounds like a good plan.
Okay. In that order,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, that
Okay.
order.
Okay.
Definitely don't stand there where they can hear you and call me.
Yeah. Have the rents been asking about me?
I haven't heard from them lately.
Neither have I, but that's not unusual. They were still pissed at me the last time I talked to them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're pissed at me, but I haven't heard from them lately. And I mean,
Okay.
now that I think about it, maybe I should check on them.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna jet. I will see you all later. And he heads out. He's got a little selfie app that every time he poses, you can see the little flash and it takes a selfie picture and
Yep.
automatically gets uploaded.
Use that. I'm like face palming, like, yeah, okay, so that was my brother.
Hashtag not kidnapped.
Anymore.
Your brother's a lot.
Yeah, he kind of is, and he's just cranked it up since we got here.
He has potential. I wonder, as you might have known, I did put a tracker on his kidnappers. Do we wish to further investigate them? Do we see merit and profit in that? Because I have to admit, I have sunk a bit into this particular mission.
I mean, at that point, it's up to you if you think I personally, I don't have a lot of investment in it as long as they leave both of us alone. But you've come this far, maybe.
Okay, I'm just gonna bring it up again, but you also seem. I have never, not even once in my life, been kidnapped. Not taken from a grocery store or a street or my place of employment.
Why would you choose a grocery store to be kidnapped from? Is that a thing?
I don't think you choose to. Well, okay, there are people who choose to get. That's an entirely different subset of people that we're not talking about right now. So,
You're shopping for some cabbage or something. They whisk you off the street.
Are you not concerned that a close relative of yours was thrown in a van and held for
Yes,
ransom?
I'm concerned, but that's yeah, I am concerned.
The successful kidnapper really is the one who gets what they want and leaves you alone from there, in all honesty. It's normally only a vendetta that continues to extend. I personally was held for ransom as a small boy.
You have a good time?
It wasn't so bad. I don't remember much of it, but they did try to entertain me as much as possible, and my father paid, and I was returned home.
Oh,
See,
sounds
that's how
pretty nice.
kidnapping's supposed to work, right? That's the point of kidnapping.
Yeah, that's why it's kidnapping and not just.
They would just, like, if they wanted to kill you, they would just shoot you.
True. My father, of course, did track down most of them and kill them horribly.
Well, it just discourages other kidnappers. It's reasonable. I don't really have the resources to track them down and kill them horribly, but and really I'm it's not, I could probably track that specific person down and kill them, but they
Well,
probably
yes, I have a
have
tracker on their
friends who
car.
then would track me down and kill me. And yeah, I'd rather not escalate it too much more.
Well, then there's little reason for me to continue to track their movements. We did not find out. Sadly, I wasn't entirely sure your brother would provide much insight to who they were.
I don't think he has a clue.
I mean, that's what your drone would be for, is figuring
Right.
out who they are.
I will at least see their destination. But Heller, you're the one with the schematic.
That's correct. And if I had fabulous pieces, the circuit things, you can see he's holding up a diagram. He goes, I could get a hold of some of these. I could give you a pretty good prototype. And if you knew who it was, you know who's trying to get these to market. So you might be able to get them out.
I think I might provide you some lab time. If you are willing, of course, to let me take
Invest?
priority in how we distribute that this tech.
Sure, sure.
I mean, we are friends. I have always made sure you receive good recompense.
Exactly. And you know that soda is an important thing for entertainment. I appreciate that in person.
And you know, Marley's head looks weird like that.
Yes, you definitely should get a replacement, Marley.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Just a regular one though, not some. But yeah, you know, we have a copy. You could. I don't know why it's taken. Well, no, I guess I do know why it's taken them this long, because that thing was kind of glitchy. But maybe you could beat them to it.
Mm-hmm.
Glitchy. Heller, yes, maybe doing a deep dive on what this ear was.
Oh, it's pretty amazing. It goes for a whole set of the sort of vibration set that we don't hear currently, and it sort of synthesizes it into the hearable band. And so you've got this, I mean, I haven't heard it, but I want to, because it'd be pretty freaking awesome.
Did you, out of character,
Mhm.
did you also notice its vulnerability aspect?
Yes, it was very, very much a prototype, and the pieces were put together, but not, how do you say, they didn't have the polish and fit, so that essentially what you've got is a bunch of too big pieces put together in a too small space, and the heat not handled, and the vibration shielding not handled, and all of that stuff.
Is that what the vulnerable is, or is it vulnerable to hacking? I suppose is my worry.
Oh, you mean that thing itself of what the vulnerability was? It was that it kept going out. I think was
okay.
what Marley had, was it would
Yeah,
just
it kept
stop
going out,
working
or
for
like
them.
sending a basically making my ears ring really, you know, bad,
Mhm.
or just like shutting off altogether. I mean, I guess someone could hack into it and do that to it, but like, why? I think it was more physically vulnerable.
Physically vulnerable, compromised is the tag for people like having
There we
a
go.
back doors to a gear.
Gotcha. Okay. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like choosing certain moments to record you and then taking that information.
No.
Okay.
No, but you could make one that did that, sir.
Oh, I was primarily worried that we all had been made, or that their design was to be able to send in spies.
No, I'm thinking back over the conversations that we had, and I just think anyone who overheard us would just be rolling their eyes the entire time. I'm not sure there's a lot of value to be got.
They're talking a lot about soda. It's very
Yeah.
strange.
I mean, we've done
Riddle
some
had
illegal
us like
things.
shielded
Soda
for
and
most of that.
swamp.
Do you think
so-
purple is a code word for something?
But of course, they also didn't intend for it to be on Marley. The idea would be if it was on someone they were
Right.
using it for doing that.
That was probably the next step.
People who want to hear that broader spectrum of sounds are probably people who are, that would be like if you were, I don't know, that's a real.
Shall we actually, we got some information or questions that you have. Maybe we should move forward and go to you, like looking into this a little further, if you'd like, Heller.
Sure, I'd love to.
Okay. This is a kind of a lift the veil
Okay.
here for this. So we'll kind of cut forward. Gabriel, you're providing some kind of workspace.
I'm doing the best I can
Okay.
at the moment because I am literally tapped out. I have 0 cred and 0 capital.
But you don't have the tapped out
No,
condition mark.
I don't have the tapped out
Okay.
condition.
All right.
You're just between paychecks, that's all.
Yeah.
We will come to you in just a second to do your start of session, your capital investment, all that jazz. Heller, what do you want to roll that with?
It's a fine question. Let's see here. Probably this is my thing that I do. So power.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It's if I use my Omni tool, it does give me +1 hold when I assess. So
That'd be for assess. This is kind of,
Right.
we're looking at the bigger picture. So we're doing lift the veil. Do you want to
Okay.
mark your arm with the multi-tool to give yourself a +1?
sure.
Okay.
So it's a +2 that I'm rolling with. Now
Yeah.
all I have to do is find the roller. So that'll be a second. Hold on. Here we go. Navigating the web.
Searching.
Okay, found random. So I'm going to roll 2d6. I'm going to add 2 to it.
Okay.
That gives me an 8.
It gives you an 8. So last time you were able to identify the corporation that was involved with this. And I believe that was Halcyon Infinities.
Yes.
And you're looking at this further. And one of the things that you will do, kind of running through, essentially Gabriel's giving you access to some of the kind of corporate like searching and databases and things like that. One of the things you'll find is there are black patents. These are patents that companies pay large amounts of money to be filed that are proprietary patents that are registered. And when something similar to would pop up, the black patent like activates. And so you can tell that this thing, while it's not out in the public yet, is like patented all the way from 0 to 100. Like if you tried to market this, they would be down on you so fast. And you're like, okay, that seems wise. Maybe, okay, not sure. But what you will realize is that these ears, if you have them, radically change what can be done in terms of musical production. And the people who know how this works and are ready for this when this tech hits the market with a whole, when they went from mono to stereo, this is like that.
Okay.
You're
So,
opening up a whole new range of auditory experience for the human brain.
I mean, that's a great use monetarily. Okay. So,
And it doesn't like you kind of gotten some notes from Gabriel and Riddle on like this war that's going on over like the space for this Codex 63 and this battle that's going on right now among musical companies. And it's very clear to you that Halcyon has stepped back. It is not involved in that at all, but maybe pushing that to happen.
interesting. And then also in the background, starting to record stuff. So when these things come out, they've got the music and the portfolios and all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go back to Gabriel, and I'm going to go, this is what I think is happening. And I think what you need to do is get yourself a few pretty good musicians and a studio and start working in this area so that when Halcyon hits, you've got actual awesome tunes that people haven't heard before coming out, because I could make some suggestions. And I sort of say, seriously, you got to hear my little sister sing.
I am more than happy to interview any talent, and, and we will set up that appointment. But yes, you are right. Whoever has a catalog ready to launch, my goodness, Heller, this might be valuable in a way that we did not anticipate.
There are two steps that two or three steps that have to be figured out. One, you need musicians that can understand how this works and perform it. Two, you need instrumentation that can generate these sounds in a way that can be manipulated. And three, you need a whole different set of recording equipment.
But a lot of that can be reverse engineered because we have the ear.
100%. At least two of the three can be reverse engineered. The third one is a little more challenging, but
Right,
it's possible. Yeah, but yes.
Being able to knowing where the sound is going to be is a massive step.
Mm-hmm.
Heller, this could change everything.
I know.
I might be able to find a little extra work, safe work, and a nice lab to create a few of these. We'll need some to make sure our artists can hear what needs to be heard.
All right. And I'm thinking there got to be instruments out there that are already making sounds in these ranges that we just don't know do that. So probably one of the first things you want to do are get people in who play their instruments all throughout their, like they have really good repertoire of all the different ways the instrument can be used, and play it through those speakers to get the sense of how it can be used.
And I am just pleased as punch. This is lovely.
Gabriel, let's come to you.
All right.
And let's do your start a session.
Before we do actually, I'm going to ask where we are right now, because I have 0 to invest.
You have 0 to invest. So the thing is, so we've still got that job hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
We can still continue on with that, or as you were told last time,
I'm going to ripcord it.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to ripcord it. But I'm curious, if I had 0 to invest, I'd be going in with just a job that potentially would get me a 1, wouldn't it?
Yes.
If I rolled a 10, what would it get me?
Let's take a look at the move.
Well, I get double.
So what we would do at that point is we would effectively consider that a 1. And that's a really good question. And I would say you would get 2 at that point.
Okay, so that's how that would all work out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to pull Ripcord, though, because I was given the option and get my 2 back. But if I can, I'd like to do it through my backroom dealings, as I want to go and speak with my contact Britter
Okay.
and let them know this mission that I was on and how I stumbled into what clearly was a huge war, and this shouldn't have been something I've sent on. Did Claudio have authorization to send me on this?
So here's the thing, the potential cost and the potential downside on it. That was the whole sort of, you were given that thing. You could either keep it quiet and get your money,
Mm-hmm.
or potentially lose your money if you expose it.
Well, okay.
So,
I mean-
but that's what I'm saying. So now you've got a better chance of that not happening with the backroom dealings, essentially. But you understand what the fail state is.
Right. Because, well, I mean,
The fail state in this, just to tell you, like on a miss, you're going to lose your money.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I just for the would I have if I had have recorded and not done this, would I have gone to Claudio and say, "Hey, I've run into big problems. Give me my money back." Or, in effect, it's
The
not
guy that
money.
you talked to said, "I can get this all cleared up. You'll just get your money back." But
Oh, okay. So we've
that's-
been going through back channels and it coming
Yeah.
up nowhere. Oh, okay. I still want to do the back room.
Okay.
'cause I want to go after it's my
Okay.
drive.
Absolutely. Like if you had given it to that guy, Claudia wouldn't know it was you. But now, so what do you want to roll it with?
Oh, I am in such bad shape. I'm rolling it with power because I think I've got something on him. I
Okay.
think this is, a moment where I can really stab it at him.
So you're gonna
with-
spike out your power.
Nope, that took it up to 4.
Oh, it took up to 4. Okay.
But this is one of those moments where he can't retaliate much because, he set me up. So, all right.
Absolutely. There's it's almost no chance
Yeah.
of you failing on this roll with the +2.
And I don't think anything cybernetic would help in this.
Okay.
So it's looking like a straight roll that I'm sure is going to, well, it's a 9.
It is a 9.
So close to a really good.
So let's take a look at that. You get to pick one
Mm-hmm.
then from that list on backroom dealers.
Oh, don't play safe. Never. Yeah, you know me. I am so much a play safer. But I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to win someone over.
Okay.
I think building me up is probably better than trying to get him to admit. It seems unlikely he's going to admit something randomly here.
So who is it you think that you want to win over on this? Is it someone up in upper management that we want to establish as an NPC?
Yeah, let's do something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's getting someone a little closer up to the masters that that appreciates me coming in, being forthright with all of this, and following the, finding out I was running up against the wrong sort of thing and backing out of it.
Okay. So you will talk to a senior manager by the name of Anger Nene.
Mm.
Male, female, they, them,
They,
envy,
them, I
they,
think.
them. Okay. And they are very interested. Anchor Nene is kind of the equivalent of internal affairs for the company. And says, I know that lots of people have many irons in the fire and they may not be aware of how much is going on, but it's the people who do know what's going on and act against the interests of the guild that I'm worried about. And I really am glad, Gabriel, that you're willing to come, especially when it involves your father and your mother.
Well, the guild has always felt like family to me as well. And I'm sure it had to have been a mistake. Claudia would never have done anything untoward. But once I found out, it made sense to come to you. Just because, well, we are all a unit, and that's how we succeed. And I've always felt that internal affairs is sort of that nervous system that keeps us all moving in one direction.
That is a more generous assessment than many in the family have of the work that we do. I know that you're a rising star.
Oh.
But if that should ever change, you have certainly I would put a word in with the Quaesitori for you.
I'm flattered. I never thought internal affairs, but I just never thought I would measure up. To hear your praise, you've given me something to think about.
I hope to hear from you again. And so, yeah, you may essentially mark them with an obligation on them as an NPC.
And I get my 2 back.
Get your 2 back. I'm gonna put the retaliation on a little table over here.
Oh, I don't
just
blame
we're just
you.
gonna set that right there.
Mhm.
Hello. And but let's go ahead and have you invest and get that roll out of the way.
All right. So
1 or 2.
Go for it. I'm going for 2.
Okay. So roll with a +2.
Alrighty.
Now.
Oh.
Before we do that,
I
here's a
already
question.
had done it.
Well, I didn't see it, so I'm going to make you re-roll here.
Ah!
Do you want to use any of your cybernetics to help with this?
Well, I might now. I mean, I don't know what would particularly work on.
You've got both your interface and your ear that are both about picking up information, encrypting it.
Yeah, let's
getting
go with the
deals.
interface, I suppose.
All right.
Well,
If you want, I will let you roll with advantage as well, because I hosed you on that.
Oh.
That should reduce the chance of this being total kibosh, but it'll be funnier for me if it is.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's give it a shot here. Come on. Oh, boxcars.
Holy moly. So let's look at that. So on a 12 plus, things are going fine and moving along without your intention. You gained double the capital invested. You now have 4 capital.
That's nice. Thank you.
Riddle, what are you
Hello.
up to?
So I think like maybe sometime during when Heller's looking into that stuff for Gabriel
Mhm.
or after. But I want to go find them, and I need your help, Heller.
Okay. What you need?
Well, I mean, you probably noticed, and he
Yeah.
gestures towards his like glitching everything. It's actually, well, it's worse than that, and I just need some help with my suit. And he sort of holds up an arm where there's like a tear and some wiring and circuitry that's pulled loose from his suit, and there's like a 3 or 4 inch patch of skin, like visible, not like hurt, just you
Okay.
can see it.
So what were you doing in this?
It's well, I mean, we're being shot at and assaulted by goons in a
But did you
formerly
put
swamped.
something on over it?
What? No, it's not. I just I can't. I can see the skin, and I can't. I don't want to look at that.
Wait a minute. You don't want to look at your own skin?
No. Oh no.
Okay, I got to ask you a question because you're
Okay.
asking me to sew this thing up. When was the last time like you got good and clean?
Well, it's set up for that sort. Like there's through flow and hydrocurrents this morning.
Okay.
I mean, we went swimming through a formerly submerged lab and got shot at a lot. It's I'm not feeling my freshest at the moment.
All right. Okay. Sure. So you want me to just patch up the bits and the pieces here where the suit has lost its integrity. He sort of
Well,
stops and says very carefully.
It's intricate circuitry. I mean, it's I don't know if I just throw around words like patch up or whatever. Expect you to approach it with a bit of attention, maybe. Hopefully.
Yes, I will. And yet inherently, I will end up patching it unless you want me to actually sew it back on.
Well, I mean, okay. Honestly, oh, geez, names. I usually go to Genji for this sort of work. There's not a lot of people that really know how to work on these systems, but it's sort of awkward right now.
Yes, it is. All right. I will do
And
what I can.
you're really good with microcircuitry. I've seen some of the things you've done.
Oh, the circuitry isn't the problem. It's that I got to get the right tools for the actual fabric itself.
Okay, just tell me if you're gonna like touch me or anything.
He stops and he goes, "We aren't going to do this here. We're going back to, we're going to go see my AI.
Oh,
They have the right tools for this."
I didn't know you worked with a program for this sort of thing.
They help me.
All right. Well, let's meet them.
All right. And I will take you to this weird place. It's like an adjunct of one of the corpse, not a guild, one of the corpse, and one of the pharmaceutical corpse. And essentially it is a set of bays, med bays, and you will see that sort of Heller kind of comes in and he puts his wrist up and it dings on, and you can see the hole, like it IDs him and says, I have someone I need to bring into the waiting area. And so they let you in. And then you end up sort of sliding back and going back through this maze of all of these different pods until you get to this one that when Heller approaches, it sort of lights up and it opens up. And he goes, "Okay, you can sit in here." And he'll go, revision.
Yes.
I need to use some of your tools.
Who is this?
This is a friend of mine.
Hi, I'm Riddle Blue. It's very nice to sit in your acquaintance.
What is that odor?
Swamp.
Do we need to strip off this exosuit?
Yes,
Nope.
she wants to be sewn into it more securely.
Go over to the bank. The patch kit will be in bay 3C.
Thank you. And he'll lead you over there. And he'll go, seriously, I can't get needles that fine unless I come here.
Oh, it seems like a long way to. Well, is there not like a? Is that the only pod that works in here?
Oh no, they all work. They just only work for certain people.
Oh,
So this is going to cost a little bit of money for the materials to do this. So somebody needs to spend a cred.
I can do that. I guess. Oh, go down to 5 cred. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty poor, you guys.
Hey up. So bad.
Annie up. The clear that there's a bank of tools back somewhere that get like dropped into that box for Heller to open up and use to work on this.
It is literally a sharps box where like they've been used, but if you take them out and clean them, you can use them again if you're willing to do that. And that's what it is. It's things that the AIs wouldn't reuse, but Heller would.
And if you spend that cred, then Riddle, you can clear that third box. And then the other 2 boxes will clear with just the end of the scene.
Is it okay now? It's like, like looking away like someone getting a shot that doesn't want to think about what's happening sort of thing.
He goes, sure, stand up and sort of turn around and so I can make sure we didn't miss any place, okay?
Okay.
And he'll sort of pat you down. He goes, I'm not finding anything.
Okay. I don't feel any drafts.
See? Why don't you try bringing your suit up and we'll see if there's any, I don't know, messed up signal.
Maybe you should also check and see if any infectious material got in while you were in the swamp through the gash, and that could have gotten in. I see that you've got a fluid circulation system in there.
This place
If any
seems like
bacteria had gotten in there, or
high tech, right? So there would probably be like automatic sensors if there were any sort of infection or contaminants or anything like that.
They just like the opportunity to consider what might have happened. They have their own kind of creativity.
I just want to make sure you run the right diagnostics.
I don't.
Sure, let's run them.
And Riddle,
That's
it's
what
that,
actually costs the coin, is
Yeah.
running the diagnostics.
and Riddle is probably that thing where it comes back and it says 99% certainty of no infection, and you're like, wait, why not 100?
Has this thing been serviced recently? Is it up to code?
Absolutely.
Well,
My life depends on it.
Well, 99% of your life apparently depends on it.
That's not how statistics work.
You're not how. What's the other? Why is it only 99?
Given the inability to do a full diagnostic strip down, since you do not wish that, there is always a margin of error.
I don't know how you work with this. They're very, very intimidating and negative.
But if you start feeling like itchy, or anything, that's a good sign that maybe there's a problem. So
Well, I
you know,
wasn't feeling itchy till you talked about it.
then you
Of course,
probably
now
aren't feeling itchy now.
no, I'm feeling very itchy now, and that's the problem.
Or maybe take one of those soup bath things that you do and see if that helps.
But I'm gonna go take like 5 baths.
Okay.
Thank you, though. I'm not you. You're still very threatening and off-putting. But you,
If you're feeling
yes.
itchy, I recommend Eraser brand narcotic cigarettes.
Oh,
Note,
man, I haven't had one.
this
of
is a
those
sponsored
forever.
advertisement.
This healing has been brought to you by. And yeah, I think Riddle looks very like twitchy and just wants to go. I need to go back, take
Sure.
a couple of baths. It'll be fine.
Yep.
Just wash out everything.
You'll be fine.
I think we're going to cut there. Let's take our first break. Let's take 10 for this first one, and then we'll come back. So, Marley, you were saying that you were thinking about checking back with your family, checking back with the homeland. Does that kind of feel like this is us looking at that essence move or doing something else? What do you feel like?
Yeah. Actually, let me see what's. Oh, that's right. I was gonna kind of write a draft of a start of session move, but I did not actually do yet. Let's see here. Okay, so nourish. When you attempt to nourish your homeland, roll. Okay. Yeah. How do I do this? I mean, there are lots of things that I can decay. Probably don't want to be anywhere near Gabriel's. Are we in like the hideout still? I don't know.
Mhm.
Probably not near here.
So where do you go? Like what kind of like, and we just kind of cut scene. Where do we find you?
There's okay, yeah, where when I got shot and accidentally teleported underwater, and like came back, came through like some levees they were building, and there was a whole bunch of equipment there. So I think I'm gonna go find a currently not being used corner of it and some equipment, and yeah, just rust it a little or a lot, or turn it into a pile of rust.
So what does it look like? Like, how do we know that it's not just you're decaying these things, that you're connecting to a place somewhere else? What do we think we see?
So normally, like the thing is that where I'm from, it's downstream from here, and that's sort of the problem. But it's also an advantage because we like take stuff when it floods. But I think you see like a current coming back the other way.
Okay. What do you want to roll this with?
That's a good question. I think this is something I do a lot, or at least, on a fairly regular basis. So I'm not scared for once.
Okay.
I think peace. I think,
Okay.
this is kind of just, it's not quite routine, but it's pretty close. Oh, right. What do I have in peace? That's my negative, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's a 4.
That is a 4.
I should never be calm about anything.
So I think that you will reach out with this and reach out to your homeland, and you kind of draw on this force of decay, and you feel another force kind of not so much as intercepting you, but like grabs on to that and draws that decay out through you. And we see those like construction cranes and things around you just absolutely go to rust, and then there's that kind of creaking sound, and then they start to fall apart. And you will sense someone like you, another person who taps into this force, and you can feel they've drawn that decay through you, and you'll like get a flash of the city streets behind them, and like they're standing up more, like standing up straighter. You can see that around them is an alley. Maybe there's even a body there, and they've been enacting that decay there. And it gives you a chill, because one of the things you do is your decay is about the physical world and things. You can tell that this person, their approach to this is darker. They decay people, they decay institutions, and they're aware of you now.
Awesome.
I will give you 2 essence though,
Okay,
just as a sort of
cool.
a backwash from all of that.
Okay.
And then that figure, does he think it's that they cut it off, or do you cut off the connection?
I think I panic and like I'm trying to cut it off. And I'm not sure.
Okay. And it's
Like
just
it cuts off and I'm like, I don't know if I did that. It didn't feel like I was succeeding at that, but
I think your awareness comes into around you that the air is filled with dust and rust, and the sound of alarms going off all around you, and you have to book it out of here.
sure do.
Hellerton, I return to you.
Yeah, this has been a crazy busy time. It's a lot of stuff. The thing is, though, is that I can feel things inside of me going wrong. And
Popping, sliding in wrong places.
yep, I gotta get back to work.
Gonna hit the streets and do some scavenging.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Tell
it
me
looks
about
like-
this place you go.
So I've been down by those floodwaters enough that I'm like, that's where I don't want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what I'm gonna do is, now that I've heard about this sort of like music thing going on, I'm actually gonna go and pick around some of that area of town where like all the clubs and stuff are, to find if there's some place that has like, they've just redone something. I'm actually looking for audio stuff.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Like a club that is doing the latest upgrade and things are getting kind of torn out and
Exactly.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and have you roll scrounge. What do you want to roll it with?
Let's see here. It is, let's see here. I did just do a roll in power, so I'll take the fear down. I don't know. I am doing this more because I can feel things coming apart, so maybe fear fits.
Okay.
So that's a 2d6. So I'll mark that again. And then, so 2d6, I'm adding 2.
Okay,
So that's a 9.
that is a 9. Do you want to mark one of your cybernetics?
Yeah, maybe I do. Yeah, I could do that.
I should have reminded you before we started, before you did the
Yeah.
roll.
And did they clear out from last time, or do I have to
Yeah.
do something? Okay.
Yeah.
So
You've marked your arm already today.
I did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, yeah, I did. You're right. So I guess. Oh, I know I marked this arm, not my sleeve transmitter.
Right.
So I'll probably use my sleeve transmitter
Okay.
then. So, because it's got the close
To get
jamming.
2 scrap, you'll find a place that has been kind of repossessed, and people are doing things. And it's like one of those places that was a club, but it was also clearly a crime or, Yakuza or cartel or triad style club. So they had a whole underground setup that's getting stripped out of equipment that they're like junking because they don't want to get tracked back on it and stuff. This is
Well,
stuff
and
they
it's
can
got like
resell.
bullet holes in it, and there's
Yeah.
blood splattered on all this, yeah, so like blood splatter and bullet holes.
But you'll
Sure.
get a bunch of that. How much scrap do you have now?
I think I have 2.
Okay.
Let me see.
Because you had 0 before.
No, I had 2 to start when I started.
Okay, so you
So-
get 2 more scrap. So if you want, the maximum is 3.
So I better spend some right now.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna spend it right now.
How much do you want to spend?
I think, can I spend 3?
Okay.
I'll try spending 3. So let's search for, okay, so that is. So I'm rolling and adding 3.
Yep.
Okay. 26 adding 3. And I rolled a 10, so that's a 13.
So you get 3 hold to take that and convert that scrap into some, new piece of cybernetics or modify existing cybernetics.
How about I'll make myself a ear, because indeed it is all this talk of that, and having taken out Marley's thing, I do think that I'm like very, very super aware of like what's going wrong right in there, if that makes sense.
So wide spectrum, right?
Mhm.
So that's 1 tag. We've got 2 more hold left. Do you want to avoid giving it a negative tag?
Sure,
Well, actually, no, it doesn't
I
require
can take
negative.
another tag, right?
Yeah,
And
you can
then
actually take another tag.
tag first. So how about wide spectrum, and how about like the thing that it like I will never get that sort of overload, like no overload, like it does the protection where it closes down.
Insulated.
Insulated, yeah, that sounds
Okay.
good.
And because it's still just 2 tags, you don't take a negative tag because you only
Okay.
take a negative tag once you get that 3rd. Do you want to not suffer harm?
I would very much like to not suffer harm when I did that. That's, yeah. And this is also a prototype for Marley, because I got to make them a new one.
Okay. So it's your first try. So maybe not the most realistic looking ear.
But that's not my concern.
Okay.
It's more important for Marley, but not for me.
Get a little montage of you working with the AI to get that put together, pulling the scraps.
Yeah.
What kind of music is behind this as you're doing this?
So the AI likes really old stuff because it's not synthesized. They can't figure out like how it was done. It's all analog. So that's like a puzzle that they're always working through. So I think that they like that sort of recorded, and they particularly like jazz. The more Baroque it is, the better.
Okay.
Because it's like you never know what's coming up in it. At
So
least I never know. For
Miles
me,
Davis improvisational jazz, like live at the Blackbird, that kind of thing,
Yes.
going in the background. Okay. Gabriel, let's come back to you. You will get a call.
Yes.
And you will see, of course, you always have caller ID, but you will see. Let me get to your entanglement things here. Did they go up? Where is that at? Oh, I'm on the scroll over. Here we go. There. It's Gwen.
Oh, well, that's good to hear from. I will take that call. Gwen, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
Pretty well, honestly. Things busy, of course, but well, things seem to be looking up, Gwen, if I could tell you the truth.
Have you and Father had some kind of disagreement?
Disagreement? Well, um, there was a business issue, but I'm sure, knowing your father, that well, it was a guild issue, and I had to back out of something your father had asked me to do, but he clearly did not know how it ran afoul of the guild.
He did seem upset, and it always worries me when he gets that upset
Oh, he
about
was
things.
very angry.
Yes, it's not good for his heart. And it just made me so worried. So I wondered if I could ask you to perhaps, like, maybe apologize to him.
I did not realize that something I had done had upset him. So I will make sure to give him a call and apologize if something I did may have caused him discomfort.
It's just he and you and uh, my mother, our mother. They're the only family that I have. They're just all so important to me. I want all of us to get along.
And how are you?
I'm fine.
Fine, just fine.
I've been just trying to keep my head down and get through the courses that I'm working on.
And your grades are good?
They are adequate.
You've always been, well, generally you don't keep your head down and just study. And so I'm pleased that that's what you've decided to do.
Absolutely, she says with a little hesitation.
I'm sorry. I sound like an old harpy. I didn't
No,
mean to do that.
I've never had a brother, so uh, it's nice to hear.
What are you doing? Tomorrow night, or what night are you free? We should get together, have a nice meal. I don't get to see you.
Not tomorrow, but the night after. I'd love to.
Excellent. Do you want to go out somewhere, or shall I make something?
Yeah, no. Let's go out. We never go out.
Wonderful. I will come by, say 8-ish,
That sounds good.
and I will give your father a call. I will give father a call.
I appreciate that.
Take care of yourself.
And what do you do?
I think I'm dealing with some inner conflict, lol.
Oh, really? Would you think that you're conflicted on this? Yes, let's have you roll. What do you want to roll that inner conflict with?
I think I'm going to roll that with sad, lol. I'm
Okay.
rolling it with sad. Cause all the things around it make me upset and bothered. Let me pull up the move real quick though. So I'll know how horrible it's gonna be. All right. Roland. That's a 6.
So let's look at that 6. So tell me, Tyler, which is worse?
Mhm.
Calling him up and apologizing, or having lied to your sister?
Mm. I'm not gonna lie to her. I have to call him. I just can't.
In that case, that's the worst thing. So I think that you can't bring yourself to call him. Like you go to do it, but you can't. You absolutely can't. It just it kills you. Mark another box of sad for me as well.
Does that take off the other side? Is that what happens?
No,
It's just a mark.
it's just a mark.
Thank you.
So yeah, what does that look like? Like, how do we see, like, on screen, how do we see this inner conflict?
I think that there is like disconnecting, getting off of the phone, and like the immediate of preparing to call him, and then sort of later, and we get a kind of series of through the day pulling up the number, composing actually a little like a written message. And finally, as night begins to fall and I'm getting ready for bed, and it's the last thing on my list of itinerary, which I see Gabriel definitely always having. And then we see him sort of look at it and do a and shift it over to the next day.
Perfect. Riddle, let's do a scene with you. Do you want to do a scene with an NPC, with a PC, something you want to carry out? What do we want to see for you here? I think after we do your scene, we're going to bring everybody together for a convo.
Yeah. Riddle has a terminal case of curiosity.
Okay.
And I think Heller had shared some of his data that he'd pulled off of the weird doll bots. And I've got that blank set up in my personal veil there, and I want to try and dig into the neural architecture setup and see if I can figure out more about it, and the weird interaction that they were talking about of like the live brain being in it versus it being in a dead state now.
So here's the two things. There are two different things you're talking about.
Okay.
There's the brain data that you got out, and there's the physical body stuff that Heller got out. Which one are you looking into?
I'm presumably more familiar with the brain data that I rebuilt, so I'd like to dig into
the one that turned the
info.
room purple. Yes.
Things happened in places. But Heller's data I'd like to dig into.
So the physical stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's have you roll. It feels like lift the veil.
Yes. I think so. Yes.
What would you like to roll that with? And would you like to check any cybernetics?
I'll mark my backup simulation. To it's engaging my cyber brain and pulling in my personal sort of computing area where I can run this data through different sorts
Absolutely.
of thingamajiggers that you run data through. Um, that's interesting. I'm gonna roll with fear. This stuff has been pretty crazy so far, and well, bad things have happened anytime we've gotten near this technology active, so I can recognize a pattern, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Let's have you roll.
Geez, wow. That's a 14.
So on a 14 with Lit the Veil, I'm going to give you some information. And then you can kind of modify that, and then we can ask a follow-up. Again, these are artificially made bodies of a kind of a weird plasto-organic material for the body itself, run through with these electro nerve materials that move the body, that essentially cause micro reactions through electrical impulses to create muscle effects and things. The thing that strikes you is that like these bodies are really stable and very hard to damage. No, they're not hard to damage, but to disable. They're very hard to disable because things are so distributed on them. So lopping off an arm, it's not like that's causing the rest of the system any kind of pain. It also seems to have, like, as far as you can tell, no real respiration or anything like that. So these are bodies that could survive in a variety of environments. Vulnerable to high heat, vulnerable to, super cold, less so than a normal human body, but still that. But, like vacuum or high pressure would be less a problem for it. There are a variety of things. One of the things that strikes you is that, I mean, you can see that there's the sort of the nerve wire stuff, hooks up to where the sensory organs are of a kind that are there. But the thing that gets you is you realize you're not sure how it's powered. Like, there's no like chemical reaction like human consumption of food or anything like that. And it's unclear to you how it's, at least at the look of this, that you've got it, like what it's using to power itself. Do you have a follow-up?
So when you say that, as in I can't figure out how to get it started up, or it's going and I can't figure out what's making it go.
Like, no, I mean, you're just looking at the plans.
Yeah.
Like, you have no idea how it's powered. Like, okay, where's the battery? Where's the engine? Where's the power source? Where like what is going on here?
So no matter how weird or where the information came from, it was processed through and manufactured somewhere here and somewhere real and somewhere findable.
In a lab. Yeah, the lab you were in.
Yeah. Um, hmm. Not sure. Does anybody
Okay.
have a suggestion for a question?
This is weird. I would take a hold for something later.
I think it's fair to hold that question for later if you want to think about that. I mean, or I think a fair question is, okay, well, how is this powered? I think is a reasonable question since you do have a follow-up.
Yeah, I mean, if I can figure out something about that, that would be interesting.
I think it's that it's studying it, it's working at the model, you're looking at this, and there's some looks at certain kinds of biotech and things like that that you're kind of pulling up, and you realize that the whole body, with all of that sort of wiring that runs through it, sort of micro wiring inside that plastiflesh, it's all a kind of a receiver. And you think that it is powered by the background radiation of the veil, like all of that around it, that energy that's there is what powers it.
Hmm.
Just the ambient existence of that in the air around it.
So sort of like it runs on radio waves or like
Ex-
Tesla transferred energy sort of thing.
Exactly. Ether. Or philosophen, or whatever, however you would say that. So and I do think you're like I mean, you can tell that that's what's going on, but you still don't know exactly how it's doing that. Like that's really weird.
It's very weird.
May I like have a brief meet of the four of you to talk about maybe next steps or pairing people off to do things or whatnot? We still have Dokuchi and that meeting set up and all of those things. So Gabriel, if I may, we've got that apartment that you have that you don't live in, that is your sort of meeting place. How does the rest of the group know that you're a little more calm about your financial situation and your concerns? Does that show at all, or is it completely opaque?
I don't think there's anything noticeable, because even when I was broke, I don't think I looked less glamorous.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So it's, if anything, it's purely seeing me in a less, oh, but I spent all this money sort of mood. It's not
Okay.
visual. It's entirely, I seem chipper and all upbeat.
Awesome. Yeah, so the four of you are back together. I think Marley, Gabriel, you will notice that Riddle, the sort of weird sort of favoring the arm and kind of hiding it away, that their body language has probably changed a little bit, right?
Yeah. And the the whole like illusion is back up and mostly working. I think it's in the form of like sometimes the animation isn't completely smooth, but there's not like holes and glitches in it anymore.
And what does your new ear look like, Heller?
I think that what it looks like is, you know how I think it looks like an earpiece,
Okay.
like literally that, like he's listening to music or something like that. It's like he's got one of those things. Like it just looks like it's been put into his ear.
I like that.
So that's all. But it's actually the whole thing is and his ear looks like it's got like metallic paint on it, but it's actually the ear shape itself is part of the scrap.
Nice. So let's Gabriel, it is your building, so let's start with you.
Oh, please, everyone. It's nice to see you all again. I brought hydroponic greens for a salad, and we actually have a chicken, a real one. I've had it roasted. We'll get to carve it.
Like aesthetically?
With a knife, we will flay it to provide ourselves pieces.
Ooh,
of
like a
its carne.
corpse.
Yes.
I've never had that before.
I seldom indulge in a full beast, but I thought this was a special occasion.
I've seen a chicken before. I've seen pictures. They're like big pigeons, but if a pigeon, it's good.
Squab, yes. But
Isn't squab a vegetable?
Yeah. It's got like an orange shell on it,
Yeah.
right?
I think it's like a root thing.
Please, let's enjoy. There is food and drink, and Heller, you seem to have been successful in your work.
Yes. I did a prototype for Marley's replacement ear. Shows it off. It's working pretty good. It's got the wide spectrum, but it doesn't do the weird high pitch thing. So I think it'll work. I've got some more of the pieces back there.
Marley, have you replaced your ear?
No, I don't think I have yet. I was too busy being detected and having my power like corrupted to decay people.
What?
I'm not saying that in character. I guess I'm gonna say no. I'm planning to. Although yeah, I should do that.
Well, I'm wondering, did you have like your fleshy ear and this was an implant? Or are you just like missing your Van
I think I'm just
Goghing?
missing an ear. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I think at some point I did have an ear, but it was useless. So, you want to take it off and replace it? Cool.
Awesome. Okay.
But it's not like they have a hole in their head, because you would have put something in there to keep it.
Right. It's
yeah.
just like kind of smooth. It
Marley?
probably looks
Go ahead.
weird, but you don't really notice why until you really look at them.
Marley, you're doing all right.
Yeah, I'm doing fine actually.
I will admit I'm in a bit of a celebratory mood. My maneuvers to try and look into your brother have thus far been providing some bits of positive results, I hope, and maybe he will be joining the Dionysus family of artists soon.
That would be good. That would be good. I worry about him. I mean, he's doing great right now, but I know it's not the most stable position that he's in right now.
Well, I'm hoping that I can give him an opportunity. That's what friends do, you know.
That would be wonderful. I'm sure. Well, I mean, you see his music. Basically all of his brain power goes into writing songs.
And he's very handsome, and that is not to be ignored. It may be a little more of the 75% handsome, 25% talent, but I assure you that is a winning combination.
You know, he said pretty much the same thing when we first got here. Now he's less humble about the talent part, but
And Riddle, you're doing well.
Well, it's the craziest thing. I was looking through Heller, you had all that data on the doll bodies. The doll bodies? I'm not entirely sure about the nomenclature. But anyways, I was looking through their nervous system, which is very strange and stretched out and looped into places where you really shouldn't be having much of a brain. Their nerve endings, they're like little radio receiver towers, induction open circuits. Here, look. And he'll show you a sort of like PowerPoint animation of like a blank body standing there with silver wires running through it, and there's like waves of purple energy just going through the air, and then like little radio signals like beep, 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 on the outside of its skin, and then suddenly all the lines inside are running with that purple energy too, and it's like moving because now it can move.
And I'm like, but what frequency is it that it's absorbing?
The veil, all of them, potentially.
What?
I'm not sure. I mean, we'd have to get one up and running and invent a scanner to the veil. People don't normally read the voltage of the veil. It's there.
No. Whoa, this is like crazy. I mean, and then they've got like an intellect flowing through there.
A motivating system of some kind, although maybe if it's receiving power from outside in the veil, it could be receiving some sort of remote motivation.
Sounded like it was actually a personality, wasn't it, Marley, that was having like talking like they were at a party, and then
yeah, I mean, it seemed like a person. You're saying it's powered by the veil?
like
Well, it's powering itself off of the veil. Maybe it was just something conveniently appropriate. Or maybe it was designed for. I need to find out more about where this came from and what it is and what they did with it and why they did it and why someone sent it and what they found out when they made other versions of it. We need a lot more information.
you also got to talk to that Dokuchi guy. This sounds like exactly the sort of thing he was trying to avoid.
Yes, and I'll get a hopeful look on my face and turn towards Gabriel, who's staring off into space.
He is staring off into space. We all look at him expectantly. He's looking at his reflection in the window.
That's right. How did you manage to track down Dokuchi? Set up a meeting? Flatter him with presence? Gabriel?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I had to run out of the room a moment. I didn't quite hear all of that. But when you asked me that, I did do a bit of that. Remind me, Lowell, I had arranged an invitation, haven't I? You're muted, my love.
Absolutely.
Yes, I managed to get a private session for us, as it were. But for you, I was informed that he is somewhat irascible and may not be very friendly when you show up. But
I had heard something along those lines.
Yes, we could absolutely go whenever you'd like. I hope it won't take much of me dealing with him. As I said, he is apparently quite unpleasant.
Does that file say paleo Buddhists?
Yeah. What does that mean?
Oh, I know who they are, right? Just a religious group. They're a little eccentric, but
Okay,
keep
there are a
themselves
bunch of
mostly-
weirdos who are terrified of computers and evil light bulbs and stuff.
they're okay with light bulbs, I think.
It is odd that that would be someone who managed what you're talking about.
It's antithetical.
Well,
Wasn't the room kind of an isolation room? I mean,
Oh.
wasn't that what it was all about?
No, it was a room where you could go into it and interact with only the things that you brought in with you.
I see the distinction. Did he zen away the veil? Is that what's happening here?
Maybe No, okay, this will just be a very strange conversation.
So,
Yes, but whenever you'd like to have it, I can make those arrangements.
And I kind of look at Riddle and I go, do you want me to come with you?
Do you want to come?
Yeah, this guy
Oh.
sounds great.
Okay, well, you have to
I mean,
promise
that
not
place
to.
that he put together was awesome. And I don't think he's going to like you very much.
That's ouch. But okay, but you have to promise not to piss him off too.
I'll only say nice things about what he did.
All right. Sure.
Cool.
Well, then it's settled. Marley, would you care to accompany us as well? I plan to sit outside and drink a coffee. You could certainly keep me company.
Sure, yeah. I've talked to some paleo Buddhists. They're not that bad, I swear. They're not that bad.
Well, then perhaps having a guide might help you, Riddle.
Should come with us.
Marvelous. Then I will make the calls, and hopefully the invitation will stretch around so many. If someone has to bow out, then I promise each of you will have an invitation before me.
Very generous.
That's
So
me.
let's try this chicken thing. Corpse.
And I would like to kind of, Heller, I was wondering, do you have any of, you said your sister is quite a singer.
Oh yeah, she's great, but she can't get like a guild license, you know?
Yeah,
So
but-
whenever she works, it's like she's always in danger of getting arrested
well, we could
or
look into
sued,
that.
even worse.
But do you have any recordings? Perhaps a little ambiance music for our corpse's memory.
Yeah, actually, I do. I assume that like with the veil and everything, it's kind of like there's thousands and thousands of channels and things where like, it's just probably places you wouldn't go unless you know exactly where it is. And my guess is that my sister keeps a log of her performances and recordings that she's made in like some obscure, set of numbers channel thing
Yeah.
there.
You have to move them around because there are spider bots that go and eat and destroy those unregulated sections of the veil that are out there. Especially if people aren't paying subscription fees
Exactly.
for their things, then they get ate up.
Yeah, so I will find the most recent one that she has and bring it up.
Is she good?
She's great. She's great.
Is she?
Yeah, she is now, but you know this, there are lots of people who are very, very fine singers. The whole thing comes in putting a package together, and that is that she's not had anyone invest in her.
She is currently guild blacklisted for working without a guild license in areas that required a guild license, and that has put her in a state where she cannot get work under official channels. It's a self-perpetuating press.
Well, then, as we finish our meal and have listened, Heller, she's remarkable.
Oh no, she's always been amazing. She can dance really well too, and she's cute. I mean, she's my sister, so doesn't mean anything, but she is cute.
I know a big brother usually is very protective. So I'll come to you and ask first. Can you have one of these ears so that she can learn how to make this music? If so, I will be happy to put her somewhere all of her needs met, and she will have studio time. And I will pay her, and we will clear up this little guild issue.
Yeah, and he stops, he goes, I know that they have it planned that there'll probably be headphones or something, or the plugins that people are using. But me, I know the inner workings of the ear. That one. Yeah, I can do it. If you get me new components, the right kind.
I will provide all of that, and I think we both are aware that there is danger. We're using pirated equipment.
Yeah, pirated tech. But I can make it look super ordinary.
Then, and I will pull out where I have an envelope and hand it to you. And I'm spending 2 capital to provide support for an NPC. I've set her up with her own house. All of her needs will be met, and there's a small studio there.
That's fine. That's 6 credits worth of material plus your pull. I think if you're doing this secondhand, can easily get that set.
And I'm setting it. Yeah, it's going off of the 2 capital to pick up of service.
That seems perfect.
Okay. If this is, again, if you agree, Heller, and of course if she agrees.
Yep. I mean, I'll go. I think she will. I'll go and talk to her. Okay.
All right.
We cut from there to a paleo Buddhist facility.
Wait a minute. We didn't get to see the chicken corpse.
No, I think we saw the bones in the background. There's nothing worse than watching people actually eat wet food.
No, I didn't want to eat it in front of people, just to see the serving of it. That's all.
I bet we hacked at it inexpertly.
To say the least. Somebody had to finally pull up a YouTube video.
Man, that's so old. Look at that old timey thing.
Yes.
Which end do you start with?
So we cut to another part of town. This is a cleaner, slightly more upscale section, sort of upstream, as it were, less wet area. The place with like scrub bots that wash the streets down, and there's nobody like on the sidewalks with like repurposed anything. It's all new. The vending machines look clean. They're filled with all kinds of stuff you haven't seen where you're at. It is very nice and maintained at a kind of natural feel. Like this is a little bit of a hilly part of the city. And so there is kind of having to walk up some hills and things like that. And you'll eventually come to this, nestled in and amongst the various compounds and estates and things here, this Paleo-Buddhist facility. For you, Riddle, it is like walking up a mountain, and you know how the air gets thinner and you have a harder time breathing. And once you kind of get close to this place, the veil gets thinner, gets less present. You're kind of gasping to keep your facade up here.
Well, my processors are wheezing and squeaking.
And for those of you there, your signal, you're probably not noticing the decline in the signal too much, but you arrive there and you'll be greeted at the sort of entryway by a gentleman, the person you talked to before. Well, Mr. Thrawn, so good to see you. I'm so glad we were able to make these arrangements, and I hope that they will be to your liking.
Thank you very much for all of your assistance.
Absolutely. We do ask that any non-attached peripherals, phones, pads, things like that, be left here at the gate.
Of course. And I'll sort of do the swipe of sending all of my signaled things there.
The physical objects.
Oh, I even forget they're around.
Yes.
Eh,
And we'll kind of turn to each of you and like gestures for you to put your equipment in a secure box there.
Oh, it's all actually very attached.
So once you go inside, there is no veil. Just be aware of that. And kind of looks at, I see that you are generating a surface veil for yourself.
Yes.
You will need to turn that off.
Well, it's not set to go outside.
You will need to turn that off if you wish to go inside.
Is there any chance that Dokuchi would be willing to come out? This seems like a lovely area to meet in.
I can say with some certainty that is not a thing that will happen. Would you please roll inner conflict for me, Riddle?
Sure. This is frustrating. I am mad.
Okay.
That's a 5.
Okay. So go ahead and mark 2 in MAD. The one you did for the roll, and an additional 1.
Cool.
And he says, if that's an issue, you can wait outside.
No, I can't wait outside, so I guess it's not an issue. Guess it's just some weird, stupid cult rule that I'll follow while I'm here.
And his face gets very set, and he says,
Riddle, be polite to our hosts.
would you like to rephrase that?
I suppose if you find it offensive, it wouldn't hurt me too much to accommodate you.
Turns to you, Gabriel, and you can tell this gentleman was probably going to like give you all the time in the world here. He says, visiting time is limited to 30 minutes.
I see. Thank you very much.
That begins now. I'll walk you back to where Dokuchi is. And he will walk you through. And it is like, once you get inside, you'll feel like all like anything that you have is built in that has any kind of Veil connection or Wi-Fi or anything goes dead in here. You know, if you wanted to, you probably could punch through that riddle. It's a very basic jammer kind of thing that they've got set up here. But your visuals will go down. And I'm not sure that you three have seen full riddle without his coverage, right?
I'm curious if we've
Does he look
seen
like a
any
dude
of
in
us.
log underwear?
Yeah, it's that like black suit thing that's covering him. It's got a picture of it there. But no, even that, like you haven't really seen except through like the holes in the animation here recently.
Heller, Mark, are y'all the same in the Veil as out?
Yeah, it takes money.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it takes money to have a different self for the most part.
I mean, unless you want ads, scrolling all over you.
Exactly. And then they track you. So
I, for the most part, look the same, but a lot of the smoothing on the face will move away. I'm wearing something slightly more comfortable than the suit I'm always wearing.
You just suddenly look 20 years older.
Let's say 5 or 6. I'm still
because any
handsome.
makeup or anything like that would have been applied digitally, and that's all gone.
yeah.
Right.
So you
But
don't have eyeliner anymore.
But there might be a clear sign of gene work, and
Yeah.
there is the handsome of being rich still on him.
You will be brought through, and eventually you are brought to a pond, and it has a walkout to kind of a gazebo, and you'll see that there's a table there, and you will see that there is a figure seated there. They are in a kind of an electrostatic cassock. I've got a picture of them in there. It's one of my favorite pictures I like to use again and again and again, but I like that. And you can tell that it's creating an additional set of jamming. They do have some cyberware. It looks like the eyes are definitely bioenhanced or mechanical. It's hard to tell, the coloration is done to kind of obscure that. And Dokuchi is seated there. There is an acolyte standing by with tea, and Dokuchi looks distinctly like, I am just fucking putting up with this kind of look on their face. And the brother who brought you here will say, I will be back for you. And Dokuchi looks up and says, you must be Thrawn.
Yes, thank you very much for seeing us.
It was made clear to me that it was important that I do this. Sit, sit, stop standing, sit.
Thank you. I admit I am working as a conduit from another who wishes to speak with you. I would humbly ask that you give them a moment of your time and would appreciate it.
So, this is what you're good at, Gabriel. Smoothing things over. Let's have you roll a sway here.
Ooh, okay. I wasn't expecting to be doing a bit. All right. Okay. I'm trying here to pull myself out back as much as possible and give the opening for Riddle to come in with a little goodwill.
Okay.
So I think I'm going with peace. This is all about calming the situation, coming in from neutral. That's what I hope for.
Okay.
Coming in from neutral. So I'll hit peace. Well, remind me. Okay, I have 0 in peace and 1 in mad. Do I drop mad or do I add to peace?
So when you if you're rolling with peace, you mark peace, and then you take 1 off from the one that's across from it, mad.
See, I admit I have not been as good about that. I think
it's a thing to take,
I should
easy to forget.
All right. So I'm rolling straight across. So I got an 8.
Okay.
Ain't too bad. So with sway, they choose 2.
So I think that that clearly for them, one of the things they pick is essentially they're getting their debt paid off to their boss. So I think that's part of it. But I think the other thing is that they want to know exactly what's going on. Like, they want you to state exactly who you are, why you're here, what's going on. Like, in the sense that until you kind of give them the big picture, that they're probably going to be a little bit hesitant to talk.
It appears that my friend has disrupted something that I believe you created. I brought them here because they truly are regretful that happened, and they want your help to rectify it. I don't know much of the particulars of it, but I do know that Riddle Blue is a good person, and that they want to fix what has gone wrong. And I beg your indulgence for what I fear. I think that Riddle will be happy to hear your advice.
You see him look, and he finally kind of looks at you, Riddle, and he said, and I take it you are Riddle?
Yep, that's me. Hello. I'm Riddle Blue.
Why don't you explain the situation to me?
All right, so we intercepted this weird neural architecture for some sort of created body that may have come from outside of, well, extraterrestrial, definitely, maybe extrasolar, who even knows, filtered through some sort of underground that's fighting against several different corporations. They're trying to keep everything very secret, and I was trying to reinstigate a broken copy of that, and I was using the White Room, to make some alterations and study, and, well, I have some custom cyber processors running that sometimes get a little purple, and things just went off the rails, and now the room isn't working. Well, it's sort of falling apart. It's very hostile, just like an angry purple.
So you need me to fix the room?
Yes, please, very much. Genji is, well, he's got 3 faces, and they're all very, not mad but disappointed, but very that.
Mm-hmm. I know. Tell me about this signal.
Oh, it's the weirdest thing. So we've heard crazy stuff about it. People apparently saying that it came from space or outer space or aliens. I don't know. We haven't been able to see anything about that, but they make these freaky fake bodies that run around and do their own thing and explode. And I think they might be powered off of the veil, like not plugged in, just soaking it in like sun rays.
Looks to get confirmation from Heller. You are muted.
Have a sample of some of the circuitry that like was in those corpses, and it's like it's doing this weird holistic thing, and it's really hard to tell. It's alien with a capital A.
It is the weirdest thing. Here, I've got to show you. And he goes to
No.
and I, like, he tries to and realizes that he can't, sort of thing. I'm not like forcing it, but it's that habit of
Yeah. Use your words. And it kind of turns to you, Marley, and at kind of if you sees if you have any other details to add.
I've never been in that room. I can't tell you the people, creature. I am not sure what to call them even, but they seemed human, and I spoke to one for a very short time, and they were under the impression that they were at a party. So if they were powered by the veil, they also were, I guess,
Like a ballroom party?
yes. And then I tried to show them that they were in the veil and not reality, and things went really wrong, and they just dissolved.
When you say dissolved, do you mean they moved away?
I mean, their body was there, but whatever was powering it just, went away.
But the instance, the essence, the soul was still present?
It also went away.
When you say went away, do you mean destroyed or do you mean moved?
I couldn't tell.
I will fix the room for you, Riddle.
Oh,
But
thank you.
tell you my price in a moment, and I'll also tell you what these things are.
Thank you.
Turns to you, Riddle, and he looks. They. I'm not sure. I haven't given them a. I've been using he, so let's stick with he. Says, "Show me your face."
Well, I would, but they turned off all the veil in here.
Show me your physical face. That is my cost for fixing the room and giving you this information.
Why?
Because I asked you to.
I'll kind of purposefully turn to Marley, who I think, is sitting there with our tea between us, and reach in and a biscuit, and I will purposely sort of turn away from where Riddle is.
Yeah, I see that and like get the hint and also look away.
Heller just staring.
Come on, man, do it.
Oh God, Heller.
Go over there.
I will go over there. I will eat a biscuit.
It's only nominally mine, and it's definitely not me, but fine.
What does it feel like when you take that off here in front of people, Riddle?
Like skin crawling and very cold, and I don't like it at all. Like hands grip tightly on the mask for like half a second before he puts it back on.
You are beautiful.
If we could leave here, I can show you my face.
No, that's not your face. I know you think it is, but it's not. I will fix the room. And then I will tell you the story of a man named Copernicus Dusk and how he's going to destroy the world. And that's what we're going to take up next time.
Well, holy shit.
So that's our session. I would like to go to Stars and Wishes if we could for the wrap. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's start with Marley.
I mean, stars to Riddle for the like constant, oh, this is terrible, I can't, willingness to do it, but just I like the description of like just it feels so weird, which makes sense. If you were in this for what, years and years and years, it would feel weird.
It's like infinite bath pruning and it's very strange.
Any wishes, Marley?
I mean, obviously, I want to see what the deal is with Copernicus does. No, yeah, I don't think I have any specific wishes.
Okay.
Things are sort of going in, lots of directions, and I'm curious about all of them. So,
I hope the stuff with your brother was okay.
yes,
Okay.
Yeah, that was cool.
Right. Sherry?
Yeah, wow, Copernicus Dusk, cool. I'm looking forward to knowing who's gonna destroy the world and how. Yeah, because that just tells me how much time I got left. But super enjoying kind of all of the threads that we've got sort of tying themselves together. This is pretty neat. It is, I'm looking forward to it. I like the music stuff. I like the veil stuff and the weird thing with, the environment and decay. It's cool. The themes are starting to come through really good.
Any particular wishes?
Yeah, I am looking forward to how do you say, figuring out how we handle doing like the cyber ear for Marley, because my specialty is working on myself. So I
Mhm.
probably will have to get some help. But I know what I want the ear to be like.
Okay. Tyler.
I'm just full of stars. Oh my god, this thing was amazing. Um, I loved lots of what happened here. I thought you wove several really neat things together. I like having the ear go into the music, and I thought that was very interesting. Um, I liked I liked Marley's brother. He was fantastic. I liked how Marley interacted with him. I thought that was fun and kind of the blase. Well, we got him back. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be, right? And I appreciate having someone like Riddle going, "No, this isn't normal. This is crazy." The inner conflict we had to deal with Riddle meeting up with this Buddhist who is so cool and interesting. The pulling away, I thought that was cool. There's a neat philosophical difference of no, that isn't who you really are. And I think Riddle very much say, no, that is who I am. You're just seeing the me. Which I thought was cool. I Heller and I having conversation over his sister, I thought was interesting. There were a lot of just really nice things that moved through this. For my wishes, I'll say I kind of want to keep seeing these interpersonal stuff. I really like seeing us drawing in people that are important to us. I look forward to meeting with Gwen, having a moment and dealing with kind of that and my own little issues with family. But I'm also all about figuring out a way to monetize this ear to make the next wave of music with my whole slate of artists, where I'm gonna overwhelm my guild with my way up next step. Oh, looking forward to it.
Nice. Patrick.
Yeah, this was super cool. I also love the way the music storyline is twisting. Like, I just love the whole concept of, you know, cybernetics and medical enhancements that open up this whole new realm of perception, and the like artistic influx of the whole new figuring out of a whole new like musical field and genre, and how the entire thing is being held back and stoppered because the corporation hasn't figured out how to fully monetize it yet. Like, all of this possibility, all of this coolness that could be happening, and it's waiting until they get the right return on investment rate.
Mm-hmm.
Sherry, it's, I cannot think of a way to say this that doesn't sound horribly unflattering, but I really like Heller's like trash person vibe. He is just so far beyond comfortable with not just the gross and unclean, but like the quick and dirty, the shortcut method, the like there it's good enough sort of vibe to life. And it's so opposite of Riddle's approach and view on the world that it's just shocking for him to have conversations with you. um and Bethany, there was like some a particular moment where you mentioned like, oh no, we don't have work done, it's you have to deal with all the adware that goes across it. And I just loved that moment and that thought, because it sent me spinning off on the idea of like, you know, this horrible tacky adware that goes across your veil sort of look there, but then the way that like fashion and culture will take and reinterpret and reappropriate. So I'm just like imagining a high fashion runway with like intentional designer adwear and stuff. It just, future's a weird place, man. Wishes, I also want to know why this alien named Copernicus Dusk is trying to destroy the entire world with his legion of mindless attack clones or something. It sounds exciting. I'm also genuinely looking forward to like trying to unpiss off Genji, because when we got to that point in the session where it was like, okay, I'll fix the thing, there's a genuine feeling of relief of like, oh, finally, stop looking at me like that. He's not gonna be disappointed in me anymore.
Nice. I agree. I'm looking forward to that. I feel like we tied up some things, so we opened up some other things and kind of moved in good directions. I'm going to stop the recording